There you go.
There we go.
What up? So we had a little snaggeroo, but we here. We doing it now. All right. So we got the famous Shop with Missy, and we're gonna
Infamous.
talk about this industry that she's in. We're gonna give you all the loaded information. That's why we call this Talk That Fashion Shit. So I'm honored. I'm pleased. I'm grateful that you made time for me, so that you can jump on this live and share your world with everybody that's gonna tune in, and let's get it started. So
Well,
I'm gonna
thank you
stop
for
talking.
inviting me.
Thank you.
I'm flattered.
So I'm gonna stop talking, and I'm gonna let you have the floor because that's what it's about. It's about talking that fashion shit. It's not about bashing anybody. It's all about building the culture. A young lady like yourself, or a male that's trying to jump in this industry and learn the industry and want to do it the correct way. So since you have that bundle of all this information, I would love for you to share it. So let us know how you got started.
Um, so let's go back. I changed my major in college 3 times. I started with photography, switched to advertising, realized I don't like writing, copywriting, and then realized I'm like, okay, I like people. Why don't I do PR, public relations? So I graduated Columbia with a concentration in marketing with public relations. All throughout college, I worked at Forever 21.
Okay.
So so I worked at Forever 20 for 5 years. Um, and when I graduated, I took an a marketing internship, sales role, and quit, retail to hopefully try to get a job in marketing, right? So as I'm constantly applying to these marketing gigs, right, I keep getting lowballed with these entry level positions. Granted, when I worked in retail, all throughout college, I was 21, 22, 23 with 5 years of 5 years of retail experience, but I was also management. So for me to have some type of experience in retail and trying to switch to marketing, try to convince them that, hey, this is like managing an account, and they're lowballing me with these entry level salary. I'm like, nah, I make more money in retail. Let me just stick to that. So
Yeah.
working in retail, but also on the side working in nightlife. So that kind of put hand in hand.
Uh-huh.
People shop to go out,
Correct.
right? People get dressed to go out, building the network from the nightlife scene and kind of going back and forth. Um, so I decided to stick to retail because one, it pays, but I also was very good at what I did in terms of um, whether it's managing people, whether it's logistics and operations in a business, in a retail business. I just stuck to it and grew to different levels of retail. So then once I went from Forever 21, I kind of switched to this business called Akira. It's a Chicago-based boutique. Um, you know, Nowadays you can compare it to like all the fast fashion brands, Fashion Nova, Boohoo, Asos, right? But
Okay.
it started here, and what differentiates them from any other store is that they're a store that styles you. So you go in a store, they dress you, have a fitting room full of items for you to, get all fits. And I
Mhm.
was with them for 3 years, and that kind of started my styling portfolio, which led to me going to Saks.
Okay. Okay. Talk that shit.
I mean, there's a lot of things I didn't include, but back also right after college, I worked for this boutique called The Basement. It no longer exists anymore, but it was also one of the first um, streetwear boutiques here in Chicago. So that's where I first dabbled into boutique streetwear, styling as well, and also the behind the scenes of a business, of a smaller business, the buying, managing all that, the merchandising, the clienteling, the events, just managing my own businesses, my own sort of business throughout the years.
So let me ask you this: is it something that is school wise, that
School?
like going to school? Like, is this something that you should, you know, broaden your horizon and learn everything through school, or is this something
No.
that? Okay.
No. I mean, like marketing, yes, in terms of PR, of how to network, of I mean, my education, I graduated 10 years ago, so it worked back then for me. Now, obviously, everything is on social media, everything is in YouTube, everything is online, everything is very hands-on and self-taught. So granted, I still feel, yes, you do need to educate yourself, whether you're doing it virtually or, you know, socially or in school, but having that old school education does help. I'm still utilizing that education to this day, you know, in terms of marketing and networking.
Okay. So, like, say, sorry, a young lady or a male that's trying to maneuver in this industry, should they, like, saying, like, someone that, like yourself, should they contact you and say, I want to intern, follow you around, and work under you to build this? Or how would you say, how would they find a platform of finding their network in this system?
It's so here's the thing. I'm sure you're aware. The term personal stylist is very saturated these days. Everybody thinks they're a stylist.
Yeah, that's
Everybody
what
thinks they're a stylist. You know, no shade, no hate, but everybody thinks they're a stylist, right?
yeah.
Just because you think you dress, or just because you think you put something together, or because you put something on somebody, you call yourself a stylist. I do it because, grant one, I have 15 years in the industry, and the experience has shaped me and brought me here.
Okay.
And networking contributed to it, education contributed to it, real life experience from corporate businesses to private institution, private and private boutiques, to coming back to a corporate business, but working for a business like Saks. You know, it's a different environment in many different ways, but also at the same time, you run your own, but you operate and run your own business. If you take it as a career versus a job.
Okay. So, what field, if I may say it like that, what area do you like or do you prefer? I mean, I know you do it all, but which one do you gravitate the most? Is it the consulting part? Is it the styling?
Depends what day it is.
Yeah.
It depends what day it is. It depends what who the client is. It depends client or clients, whether it's a client from Saks who needs an outfit for you know, game day or birthday or a major event, whether it's a brand who wants consulting to you know, like a clothing line, like consulting them on what they should do to grow their business, and how to move a certain way. Because I mean, one, social media is free marketing. If you use it the right way, you can maximize and capitalize. So it just, again, it depends what day it is. I have a different hat.
Okay. Yeah. You must have a different hat, especially in this industry. I mean,
Yeah.
any industry you work in, you always want to make sure you're very educated. You're very all around circle with all the information that you can gather and make, you know, yourself very presentable to what you want as your craft. Um, Let me ask you this: has it ever been an if moment where you question this field, where you thought maybe I should try a different route, maybe, or you came across something or someone that made you question yourself? Has it ever been a moment where you kind of had that what if moment?
Yes and no. I feel like when you're already thinking negative, you're not going to succeed, because you're not setting yourself up for success. You're not, you know, I believe in manifestation. I believe in speaking into existence. Um, because the more that you believe in it, and the more that you kind of program yourself to get there, you're going to get there. If you keep knocking yourself, or thinking, what are they doing versus what are you doing, you're not you're not focused. You're not going to get to where you're at. There's always going to be that what if, like, oh well, that person's doing better than me, that person's doing that. How hungry are you? You want this? Go get it. It's that mindset of, all right, this is what my passion is. This is what I want my future to be. This is my 5-year plan, 10-year plan. This is how I want to do it. If I'm not pursuing it myself, where do I think I'm going to get it? It's not. I don't expect to be handed.
All right. I hear you. I hear you. Talk that shit. Let me ask you this. I know everything is so internet, social media, um, but do you still kind of maneuver back in like the old ways of like, how do you find the best trend? Do you still order magazines, the hardcovers, or do you just look at
No, because
everything?
you have to look at like magazines. Magazines technically are outdated. Not just a sense of it being paper in physical form, but also by the time they print it, that trend is already passed.
Okay.
So obviously, in the time of social media, it's all about who's wearing what, right?
Mhm.
It's about hype. That's how the
Mhm.
hype culture was created. Who's wearing what? Oh, somebody's wearing this now. Everybody wants that.
Mhm.
So again, like going back to magazines, no, obviously I'm always looking for new trends. I'm always looking for new people. I'm always looking for new brands, and social media is where to go, word of mouth, referrals, um, you know, looking at what these athletes are wearing and who they're wearing and how they're wearing it and taking it and seeing where I can go with it.
Okay. Business. How do you, or for someone like this platform is learning to develop their business branding their self, branding their business, what are key, or if you want to share it, your key ways of, making sure all your business is lining up the correct way? How do you start your day as far as when you kicking down that door and you want to, like, hey, I'm lining all this up. How do you maneuver? How do you do your
Um,
business?
Majority of my base business does come from Instagram.
Okay.
Um, but I also have long-term loyal clients, whether it comes from Instagram or not. I have clients who followed me from these small boutiques I used to work at. So they've been with me on this 10, 15-year journey.
That's dope.
Um, yeah, it's really dope. I have clients who have followed me from my boutique days to my luxury days. Starting my day off, kind of setting up and seeing what, following up on previous purchases, following up on previous requests, seeing what I think is available, going through the building to see what I can sell at the end of the day, because it's also a sales job. The name of the game is sell, sell, sell. Um, Finding and seeing what is available to respond to everybody's wants and needs. Supply and demand. Everybody's asking for this. I'm gonna go see what I can find to kind of feed what everybody's looking for. Um, but at the same time, people aren't aware I'm also the brand ambassador for my location, meaning I'm the liaison between the customer, the associates, as well as to the buyers of the company. So I'm the one contributing to what the trends are, contributing to what I think we need to pick up as a store, as a brand, giving them the influence of other influencers. Like, this is hot here, this is who's hot there, this is a brand I think we need to pick up. Being that middleman from the regular person to the corporate person to and then getting that into the floor.
Okay. Well, so being that person that has to make sure everything is lined up and it is being sought out and seen, and don't want to just label like that, but being a woman in this, sometimes saying this is a male driven industry,
Mm-hmm.
how do you?
I work with nothing but men. I
Yeah.
work I work for men, so it's totally understandable, surprisingly. And the reason why I say it's a male dominated industry, because women usually think they know how to dress themselves. Men don't.
Mhm. Yeah. I take all my styles and information from women. If a woman is like, yeah, I like that, then I know I did something good. So, I mean, how do you make sure your voice is heard in these rooms when you say, hey, I think we should go with that? When someone, like a couple males are saying, no, but I think I want to wear this. And so my clientele want to wear this. How do you structure or show that, hey, I think you should follow my direction?
Um, the way that I style people, I like people to be comfortable in their own skin. I
Hmm.
want them to be confident, because that's what they want to be at the end of the day. I go by the saying, style has no limit,
Okay.
and you could dress how you want to do, but I like to make sure my clientele are confident, comfortable. Um, I might push them to the limit sometimes, like, hey, let's get this on you, but they don't realize talk that shit. I know what I'm talking about sometimes. Hey, put this on. You know, the key thing I've always told people is you got to shop for your body and not for your eye. And people don't realize that because what looks great on the hanger doesn't mean it's going to look great on you.
I like that. Say that again.
Shop for the body, not for the eye.
Yeah, that's dope. I like that.
Yeah,
Uh,
you shop for the body, not for the eye. Everybody has different body types, and it doesn't mean that it's going to be flattering on everybody.
correct, correct.
Oh.
Um, I feel like you just been like on the rampage and you just been sharing so much information. It's been dope. So I'm like kind of like stuck on what I want to ask you next.
Come on,
But
we got some time. Let's go.
um, so is Chicago your stomping ground? That's where you always been at as far okay. Um, how is it as far as like building? I know Chi-Town has a style, like so. How do you when Chi definitely has a core of what they like to wear and how they like to wear? How do you branch off and kind of trickle in maybe a New York style or LA style into a Chicago location? If that makes sense.
Depending on the client, you can only do so much because some people are very, I know what I want. This is what it is, and it's it. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Then I either find it for you or I don't. But if you're open to it, it's easy. Again, you shop for your body, not for eye. Hey, let me show you this. Let me show you how to wear it. Let me show you how to style it in many different ways. Because once you convince them this is a more function, this is a fashionable and a functional piece, it grows on them.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I mean that goes back to the salesperson and stylist. You know what you're talking about because you're putting it on them and you're telling them how to do it. And if they see the vision that you see, they're gonna glow and grow with you, and then they're gonna love the piece as well.
Let me ask you this. I know COVID pandemic was a big turnaround for a lot of people, especially fashion, the industry, a lot of brands. I guess you could look at it and say it was a up and down because you started seeing a lot of brands starting to develop themselves. You started seeing a lot of people in the industry finding new outlets and new ways to be more creative. But for certain other brands that was already well established, they kind of took a lot of hit as far as like retail stores, boutiques.
Everybody took a hit
Yeah,
because in Chicago we probably got looted the worst out of any city.
yeah,
So financially, all these companies took a lot of loss.
yeah.
Because whether it's wholesale like us at Saks, whether it's the boutiques in a city like Chicago, when the looting was going on, they hit and they hit very hard. There was a drought. There was a drip drought here for
Yeah,
months, for months.
yeah.
And one being COVID's going on. We're not getting product. It's not getting sent in. If it's getting sent in, it's 3 months late, or they canceled majority of the buys. So we don't have any product to sell.
Correct.
And then we get looted. Now we really don't have any product to sell.
Yeah.
So from that's where the personal shopping side came, and utilizing my network and resourcing uh, product from other locations.
Okay. So you had the outlet where you was able to do that. So yeah, that was cool. Far as now with everything trying to go back into normal and we trying to move forward. What is your goals? What is your next goals to advance yourself and take over more of what you're doing?
Um, Obviously, continue doing what I'm doing. I want to tap into the tunnel. The tunnels in a runway.
Hmm.
Um, I do favor towards athletes because they are more open to
Hmm.
styling. So that's why I tend to have more of the clientele that way.
Okay.
But yeah, I want to be reposted. I want to be reshared. I want people to see, oh, this is the person behind the vision. This is the person who dressed them or her. Um, I want to, I guess, go viral in a sense, in a good way, in a good way.
Yeah. So what would you give what would you give yourself? This is a good question. What would you give yourself if you like right now you got all the key information right now. If you can go back when you first started, what would you tell yourself to do, or would you just allow yourself to have this same journey that you had already?
Would I go back and what would I redo? I don't think I would. I mean, I can't think of like something that I didn't do to get here. Because at the end of the day, I wasn't given this role, this medium, this platform. I earned it.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think what I did that I started trending, and everybody else started following what I was doing in my location. You know,
Okay.
I think I pioneered it, and influenced others to start doing it because they saw how successful I was. But you know, everybody's got a different drive and a hustle, and everybody's going to do things differently. And I
Right.
have a way that I do think that I do that works for me,
Mhm.
and I believe it's going to continue to work for me.
So, what one jewel would you give a young lady that wants to follow in your footsteps? What would you tell her? One key,
One, what?
one key. There's one key information.
Your network is your net worth.
Okay, I like that. All right. So I usually always end my segment with this because this was dope. This was lovely. You really went in, you dug in to my questions, and you really answered them to your perfection. So I'm really happy that we got a chance to sit down and really chop it up. This is not gonna be our last time talking. I hope
Better
I
not. We can
can.
do, we can do more.
But I always like to end my segment with this, and it's called Law of Attraction. How do you live by that within your everyday life?
Manifestation, speaking to existence. I recently made my first vision board. A fellow influencer, Brooke, um, in, invited me to this, and I really needed it. Um, and it was just for me to have all my scatterbrain ideas in one to vision it. And once I saw it, you know, it's bringing the power of, you know, wanting it, seeing it, believing it, and making it happen.
Okay. You got to make it happen. You got to see it,
Gotta
you got to believe it, and you got to make it happen. At the end of the day, that's what it is. So if you don't make it happen, you just sitting up on it, it ain't going to move.
I
So,
mean, at the end of the day, it's the business. Um, it could be different ways. It's a hustle. If you want to step back and saying the person that works at Saks is the hustler, but then the person who is building the wardrobe and setting up somebody's um, game day, travel day outfits for the season, that's the stylist. You know, somebody who is trying to rebrand someone, that's the image consultant.
correct.
Someone who, you know, wants to have a good time this weekend, that's the lifestyle concierge.
Talk that
So,
shit.
you know, so like every day is a different hat. It depends on the situation.
Yeah, tell them how you do it. Tell them. This is what that
You work
platform is
hard,
for.
and you work hard and you play harder. That's how you do it.
Yeah. Well, you was dope, Missy. Is it anybody that you would like to shout out, or is it anything that you would like to leave this conversation with before we end it? I would like you to have the floor and really share any information that you would like to give out.
For people asking what can they do to be a stylist, I need them to ask themselves how passionate are you? Because it, you know, people, a lot of young folks, they see it as this glamorous thing. Oh, I work at this department store with all these nice things, and I see all these cool celebrities and people. You know, they see the glamour behind it, but they don't see the hustle behind. They don't see the hustle behind it. So if they are interested in it, how passionate are you about it? Is this just I want to make the money? Is this no, I really want to style somebody? You know, or is this just you see again? Are you in it for the right reasons?
Correct. Always got to be the right reasons. And there's so much money
I'm
out here.
open. I'm open to, you know, taking somebody on the right wing, but again, it has to be. Are you doing it for the right reasons? Are you actually passionate about it? Are you really into, you know, talking that fashion shit. Like, how, you know, this ain't no, I just go in the store and I buy and I shop designer shit. Like, no, this is 15 years in the game. This is 15 years of like retail, fashion, luxury, design, all of it. So this is not like overnight success. It's definitely not. You know, again, earn, not get it.
Yeah, let them. Like I said, this is your floor. Talk that shit. Tell them. 15 years of experience, and she's not doing it mediocre. She's doing it very well. So if you want someone to look up to, or ask questions, or find advice, she's telling you. She got the platform for you. Check her out. So don't miss out on these opportunities that we sharing. This is the whole point of that talk your shit. So we can let you guys know the information, the how to go by doing it, how to manifest your dream. And when you have someone like I have this special guest, Missy, that's sharing it, she's telling you she has an open door, so you can DM her, or if you want to, your email. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know if you want them having all your
All
information.
my contact info is on on the bio and the page. So
Yeah.
you're reach out. I'm usually open. You know, catch me on a day where it's not been a rough day.
Yeah.
You know, catch me
Yeah.
on a day where like, okay, let's talk that fashion shit.
But yeah, thank you, thank you, thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank
Uh,
you. Appreciate it. Appreciate your
I,
time.
yeah. No, thank you for your time. I'm on the West Coast, and
I
got
did not
things.
realize that. I'm like, oh my God. Why did you reached out twice? Like,
Then I thought about it, like, oh yeah, let me make this happen real quick. But yeah, this is not the end. We gonna really be talking more of that fashion shit. When you got events coming up, or you want to share whatever outlet
um,
you got going on.
I
Yeah,
am. I'm working on a couple events. I'm working on a couple different things. Again, this year I'm focusing a little more on me and the brand. So I have some, I don't want to speak too soon, but I have some events coming up that I will be posting and sharing and inviting people to join and come along. I will be having a couple of networking events as well. I'll be having a couple of styling events. Um, but yeah, this is definitely um, a year to share more
yeah,
of me and the brand and
yeah, definitely,
me as yeah, just me as a brand.
definitely, definitely. All right, thank you. It was an honor.
Thank you so much.
You have a great rest of the evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
We out.